Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing really well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Sanjana and I do a lot of career and personal finance related videos here on this channel. So if that's something of interest to you, then please do subscribe to my channel down below and be sure to follow me over on my Instagram as well, Success by Sanjana. Now, as you can tell by the title of today's video, I want to share with you my money story. I had put up some questions on my Instagram page and a lot of you guys were asking about my money story and wanted to know about, what money actually meant for me when I was growing up. What's my journey? What's my sort of values? What are my beliefs and thoughts about money and how it was perceived in terms of my family? So if you are interested in finding out more, then please keep watching. Now, over the course of about 2 years, I have been sharing with you a lot about my personal finance journey. Over the last year and a half, I have purchased 3 investment properties. I have been aggressively investing into cryptocurrency, and I have, as of recent, delved into the world of NFTs as well. Now, many people think that I have had the easy path to reaching financial freedom, and a lot of people believe that I have actually been, given this by my parents, or I've had the easy way out, I've had some sort of financial assistance, or in fact that my parents actually bought the investments for me. You will soon find out that this is not actually the case. I have worked really hard for achieving all of this financial freedom on my own terms and with my own money, and you will find out that I was in the same position that you guys are in today a few years back. It is only through the educational sort of avenue that I have taken for myself to learn more about personal finance, personal growth, and what I can do with my money. What are all of the options out there? Given all of the online resources, I have gone out actively, proactively looked into this space to be able to be in the position that I am today. Now, a little bit about what is a money story. A lot of you guys may not be familiar with what a money story actually is, so let me tell you. A money story is a personal narrative about money. It makes up your beliefs, your thoughts, and feelings about money, and it affects your financial behaviors. Money stories are often generational and culturally based, and your money story started forming in early childhood. So it is passed down to you from your parents and other influences in your young life. And as a child, you probably observed your parents and the adults in your life even when they didn't know that you were actually paying attention. Now, a few of the questions that I'm going to be answering in this video around my money story include a little bit about what the earliest memory I've got in my childhood about money, whether money was an issue growing up for me. Did my parents argue over money? What was my first memory around money? When did I actively start, becoming curious? When did I get taught the principles of money? Did my family come from a wealthy financial background? What was the discussion around money in my household? So I'm going to now start off by giving you guys a little bit of context about my background and where this story actually started. I personally come from a very average middle class family. I was born in India, and when I was about 3 months old, my dad decided to move to New Zealand, thinking that there would be better opportunities for myself. So we moved to New Zealand, and because my dad used to work in the hospitality industry, he saw great opportunity in moving to a foreign country where he could actually expand and grow as a person as well. And then 5 years on, my parents then later decided that they would actually move to Australia. Given that the New Zealand economy was still developing at the time, Australia seemed like to be the dream country to live in, and there seemed to just be a lot more opportunities here. Now, a little bit about my parents. So my dad was essentially the breadwinner of the family. This is very typical of a migrant family. My mum did not work for quite some time. So with my dad only working, it was really hard, and it was definitely tough to make ends meet. So after some time, because the situation at home wasn't the best, and I believe we were in some sort of financial difficulty at the time, my mum stepped in and she got a job at the local grocery store. And at this age, my brother and I were 8 and 10 years old. So we used to have a nanny that would take care of us after school. And while my mum was working for a couple of months, she then realized that, after she had finished her shift from work and dad had finished his shift from work, they would come pick us up from the nanny's house and they noticed that we were already asleep. So they just felt that they were losing valuable time with their kids, and we were still quite young. So what they decided to do was to have mum quit her job so she could take care of my brother and I at home. So we got the attention that we needed as well. So of course this meant that, you know, given that we only were living on one paycheck, it was definitely hard and things were definitely tough at the time because my mum stopped working. Now, I also want to mention that my dad was working endless hours to, you know, put food on the table, but he made it a point to not make my brother and I feel like we had less compared to our peers, our friends. He definitely made sure that we were actively involved in a lot of the school excursions. We went to school camps and, you know, we bought the trendiest toys and games. So there was no sort of feeling that we were left behind. Now, a few years later, my dad actually decided to buy a restaurant. Now, mind you, at this time, we didn't have our first family home. We were still renting at the time. And it is only as of recent, I would say now, that we are actually building our family home. So essentially, all of the money that was to be put into the first family home had been put into the restaurant. So all of the funds went to the business. And that's essentially a little bit about my background, the context, just so that I'm able to paint a little bit of a picture for you guys. So for a lot of you guys who said that I had it easy, I definitely did not have it easy. As you heard, my parents did struggle to make ends meet. We were of a very middle class family and things were definitely not easy. But my parents at a very early age instilled in my brother and I that we had to go ahead and get an education, a very good education, and based off of that education, we have both been able to get to a place where we are financially stable ourselves. This has honestly been possible because of all of the hard work that we've put into this, and we were very quick to realize that this could be a potential problem for generations if we weren't the ones to actually step up and take ownership, not complain about our situation, and actually do something about it. I know there's a lot of people out there that are in worse situations than I am, but I think, you know, a lot of people have access to the internet. If you've got access to the internet, anything is possible. There are so many educational resources, a lot of online courses, a lot of free information on YouTube as well. A lot of personal finance channels are out there. So I think you have to take advantage of what's around you because there is literally no excuse. We live in a time where resources are all around us. It's just a matter of us whether we want to achieve what we want to achieve or just sit back and complain. So what is my money story? Essentially, yes, money was definitely a problem growing up. Although we weren't made to feel it, I do understand that my parents had a difficult time making ends meet. But essentially, at the end of the day, we made the most of what we had. From an early age, my dad instilled in me that you are a female. We still want you to stand on your own 2 feet. We are not going to have that migrant mentality where you rely on someone else, because in my culture, a lot of the times females rely on the male to be the breadwinners of the household. But he instilled in me that I had to stand on my own 2 feet because that was just, you know, modern times. You have to move with the time. And he taught me that lesson to, you know, really never beg from anyone. Always be financially free, be financially stable, and work hard for your money so that you don't need to ask anyone for help. From a very young age, my brother and I were taught the value of money. We were given some pocket money that we would always, you know, be able to spend and save. So in terms of learning about the concept of money, the principles of money, we developed this at a very early age. So we understood what the value of money actually was. Now, of course, at times when money was the main topic of conversations, we all understand when money is an issue, there are arguments that come about it as well, like I'm sure is also the case in many other households. And I believe it's for that reason, because of my upbringing, because of the learnings that I have had, and money being scarce when I was a child. And it's for that reason that I believe I'm actually very proactive with my money. I want to make sure that my money is doing the most it can for me. And it's how I've been able to develop money habits to allow me to reach financial freedom at an earlier age. So essentially in my household, dad was responsible for bringing in the money while mum was really good at saving the money. She would save money for my brother and I and our financial future, our education, and obviously family household savings as well. So let's talk about now how how my money story has changed the way that I perceive money today. Given I am now 26 years old, I've been living independently for almost 2 years now, which is absolutely crazy. So I want to share with you some of the learnings and what has actually changed about my money story and how I manage my money today. So the first things first, I think definitely for me to be able to be financially stable and not have to rely on anyone, I have been able to invest in the properties and assets that I have, and that just gives me some peace of mind knowing that if anything was to go wrong, I can at the end of the day sell off those properties, sell off those assets that I've got, sell off the cryptocurrency, and I will be financially okay. So I think having your own back is very important and something that has been instilled within me from a very young age. I think educating myself and learning about all of the possible options that are out there for where you can put your money and where you can get your money to work for you has really been important. It's been something that I wholeheartedly believe in. I'm glad that I know all of the options out there like ETFs, shares, cryptocurrency, real estate investing, NFTs. I'm glad I know all of the options out there because that allows me to make an informed decision about where I want to put my money. And personally for me, I don't want my money to be sitting in a bank account, in a savings account, earning me a maximum of 2.5% because that is not my money working for me. And one thing that I always like to share with you guys on this channel is the analogy around holding sand in your hand. The tighter you hold sand in your hand, the more that actually falls out. And I feel like this is very true in terms of money. The tighter you hold it, I feel like the more you are going to lose. You need to think of money as being in abundance, even though you may not have any. I think it's very important to start investing early. Of course, this video is non-financial advice, but I just think the importance of investing and having your money work for you so that you don't have to work, your 9 to 5 constantly to make ends meet, I think is very important. Another thing which has shaped the way that I think about money is having the access to internet. I think a lot of us do these days have a lot of access to internet, a lot of resources to the internet, which I think we are not making the most of. Many of us just sit there, complain, but don't do anything about our situation. And that really just makes me sad because we have a lot of free educational resources out there just at our fingertips. So I think there is no excuse living in the 21st century saying that you don't know what options are out there is not good enough. We have so much time, especially to be looking at things that can essentially allow you to reach financial freedom at an earlier age. And who doesn't want that? And finally, I think the importance of understanding how to invest your money correctly and also leveraging bank debt as well is something that my parents didn't really look into. And it is why today I am so heavily passionate about investing my money and making sure my money is doing the most it is for me. And that is why I say to leverage bank debt, because it is at its cheapest at the moment. We all know it's very cheap to get a loan these days, and for that reason I think it's just a no-brainer to leverage that debt so that you can build on your assets, build on wealth over time. So guys, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I haven't really shared much about my personal money story, so I hope you find a lot of value in this. And do leave me a comment down below if you do want to share your money story with me as well, just in a few words. But guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Thanks guys.